So lately I've been catching up with some R&D lenders, and I spoke with David from Radium Capital a couple of weeks ago and understanding about their product. Today I'm joined with Amy from Paddington St Finance, understand about their product and how they're different in the market. Amy, how are you doing?
I'm well, how are you going?
Going well, thanks. So tell me a bit about what you guys do and how you're different in the market.
Sure. I mean, you probably know there are a handful of R&D lenders in the market, and ultimately we all have different funding criteria. So I think the message to borrowers is that if you're unsuccessful, perhaps with one lender, that doesn't mean that another lender won't be willing to issue funds to you through an R&D loan. Paddington St Finance has been around. We're in our fourth year of lending, and we're very proud of the fact that about 2/3 of our borrowers are return borrowers from us. We offer two product offerings. So I'll focus on R&D finance today, as that's probably most relevant to your clients, but we do also offer mid-market corporate loans for companies that are perhaps beyond that refundable R&D space. Ultimately for us, we're very well funded, and so our focus is on loans between 500,000 and 4 million. So we certainly have a, we can do certainly the larger loans in the market. For us, we sort of are we're quite bespoke in the way we do our loans. So we often say that, two loans of ours can look quite different. We go through quite a thorough due diligence process, and we will structure our loans that can sort of deal with any complexity that may be in place, whether it's that companies have, existing loans and transactions that make it complex. Perhaps they've got overseas activities, various sort of aspects to loans that can be difficult for other lenders to manage. We sort of pride ourselves on being able to deal with those and structure the loans accordingly. In terms of timeframes for us, although we do go through that process, manually, and it's a very, we work with our borrowers to go through that due diligence process and to make sure we've understood each company and all aspects of their finances very thoroughly. But in saying that, we do it quickly, and loans are often in place within 2 to 3 weeks from starting that process. Can be less. If borrowers are very responsive, we can actually do it in sometimes, slightly under 2 weeks. We're very flexible with the way we structure loans, depending on each need. So we've had companies come in and they've actually set up a loan knowing that they've got a capital raise that's due to close, and some companies have used it a little bit as a bridging loan, and in those cases they've actually not drawn funds, and we've allowed them to exit the loan at the stage when they've received their capital raise and not actually waited for the ATO refund at the end of the year. In saying that, we also have companies that set up at the beginning of the financial year, and they will continually draw down throughout the year, and that loan will be repaid from the ATO. So each loan is different. Our drawdowns can be flexible. Our, as I said, ability to exit the loan can be flexible, which is quite different to other lenders. We tend to base our loans on 80% of the amount that companies will get back, but again, we do have flexibility on that amount. Ultimately, for companies, this is a fast, cheap alternative to raising equity, and as I mentioned earlier, can give companies an opportunity to defer a capital raise or to sort of make sure they've got enough runway as they go through that process. Particularly now, we understand that VCs in particular are expecting quite a significant runway for companies in their funding, and so we're able to help companies with that. Probably also relevant to your clients would be our ability to do loans to potentially match funding with grants. So if a company is going through that process, we'd also be happy to chat and see if we can help.
Awesome, Amy. Thank you for your time. I'll make sure I leave a link in the description or the comments so they can reach out and contact you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.